Hi, Sandy here. I hope you're well and enjoying planning your wedding. I've been talking to a lot of people recently who've been somewhat overwhelmed by their wedding planning, and I've heard things like, I just feel like running for the hills, I just want to hide under a stone, I think I'm just going to elope, maybe I should just have a destination wedding and forget about having a big wedding back home. Are you feeling like that? I really hope that you're not, but a lot of brides do at some point during their wedding planning. And for some people, running for the hills, aka eloping, or having a small destination wedding rather than a big wedding back home, ends up being absolutely the right thing. And if it is the right thing for you, then that's fine. But if you're not sure, if you're just overwhelmed, I would take some time really to sit, to breathe, and to take stock of the situation before you make any rash decisions. And one of the things that's quite key here is, why are you feeling like this? Because although a lot of brides do feel like this, they feel like it for a variety of different reasons. And three of them, I would say the three top ones that I hear are, firstly, other people are interfering. I don't feel as though I am good enough to organise my own wedding. Everybody's telling me that I'm doing it wrong. Everybody seems to have better ideas than me. Now, I totally understand that. And what tends to happen is people hear the word wedding and they get super excited. Of course they do. They want to celebrate with you. They want to help you plan it. And a lot of people think that they know better than you do. Perhaps that's because they've done it before. Perhaps that's because they are your mum or your big sister, and they've always planned to, they've always dreamed of helping you plan your wedding. And what most people are doing here is coming from a place of love. They genuinely want to help. It may appear to you that they are interfering or telling you that you're not good enough, but actually, normally, not always of course, but normally what people are doing is simply trying to help and assist you. So if you're feeling like this, and if this is the reason why you're overwhelmed, I would really urge you to sit those people down and explain how it is that they're making you feel. Because they almost certainly don't realise that they are making you feel that way. And that way you can come to a decision between you. You can ask them to help with something specific. You can just ask them perhaps to back off for a month while you sit and think about what you really want. And hopefully then you will get back on track. The next thing I hear is that people just don't know where to start. They've got engaged, it's really exciting, and then they suddenly realise, oh my goodness, I've got this huge thing to plan and I've never planned anything like it before. Of course you haven't. Or even if you have, even if you've been married before, it was probably some years ago and things have changed, or you've forgotten what you did, or you actively want something completely different to the first time around, understandably. So if you just don't know where to start, I'm a big believer in sitting down, again, taking a breath, making a list of all the things that you know you need to do. You can add to it as time goes on, but if you start to write a list, I think the nerves begin to get themselves into order. If you don't know the order in which you want to do things, or the order in which perhaps things need to be done, if you're not in the Emboldened Bride free Facebook group, then please join it. And within the files section in the group, you will find a timeline template with all of those activities in that you can download for free and start filling in. I have put that together in the order in which I do things for my clients. Depending on the type of wedding that you're planning and the things which are of more or less importance to you, you might decide to do things in a slightly different order, but you can change all of that around within the timeline. If you think, I would say the third thing that I hear, if you think that there is just too much to do, again, I totally understand that. There is a great deal to do for a wedding. But I think the mistake that a lot of brides make is to think that they need to do it themselves. They need to do everything on their own. That would be a really lonely little project to do. And, going back to my last point with people perhaps interfering, actually people love to help with your wedding planning. So I am a big believer in putting together a team of people. Now, by team, I'm not talking about your professional suppliers, your venue coordinator, your photographer, etc. Of course, all of those people will help you. We are professionals in those areas. That's what we do all the time. I'm talking about your friends and your family who you will know who amongst your friends and family are reliable, are going to be really, really useful and help you to plan the wedding that you want and not perhaps something completely different or the wedding that they want. You will instinctively know which of your friends, when they put their hand up and say, yes, I will help, yes, I will do that by such and such a time, will actually step up to the plate and do it. So I'm a big believer in putting together a very small team, 3, 4, 5 people, and pick people with different skill sets. It's great to have one person in particular who is very good at going through things like terms and conditions, and going through all that fine print with a tooth comb and picking things out and saying, oh, why is this and why would we need to do that and can we question this? That's one kind of skill set. You might have somebody else who's very, very crafty. If you're doing very much a DIY wedding and you've got somebody who wants to make and do and sew and cut and paste and what have you, then that's fantastic. So put different people together and then you won't feel so isolated. But then, of course, as I said at the beginning, it may be that having sat yourself down in a corner and having given yourself a bit of a talking to and having gone through, why is it that I feel the way that I feel? It may be that actually you do decide that an elopement or a small destination wedding is much more for you and your other half than actually planning, perhaps a bigger day back home. And if that is the case, then that is absolutely fine. Certainly in the UK at the moment, 1 in 5 couples goes abroad to get married. So, you are hardly alone in that situation. All I would say is make sure that you're doing that, if you do it, for the right reasons and not doing it to avoid, if you like, conflict amongst family or to run away from problems. Because, of course, inevitably, when you get back, those problems are still there. I hope that's helpful today. Have great days, everybody.